we must recognize, given that they're human, that it would be possible for us to work towards feeling some empathy and understanding how they got there if we were motivated to do that. Of course, we're often not at all motivated to investigate how people reached their entrenched positions. We're often motivated to man our sides of the blockade.
Phil for you. Goodness, that's true.
It's a tough world, right?
It's a tough world.
Yeah.
In the philosophy discussion I had with Grant, we were talking about karma and evil and all of that stuff. And there was a story that the Buddhist told. It was a story about a king and his wife couldn't have any babies, so they decided the king could have a wife-bearing partner, or a partner that would bear children, and the wife would be okay with it. They decided together, presumably. But every time this other woman would have a baby, the queen would intervene and it would be terminated until such a time that, you know, the other lady hid it and she ended up perishing in childbirth because the intervention was given too close. And she said, I want to come back as somebody who devours the queen's babies. So she came back as a cat, and then the queen came back as a hen. And so she ate all the queen's babies and then ate the hen eventually. And then she came back as a tigress and a thing. And then the queen ate that one. And then they came back. One of them came back as a lady and an ogress. And eventually in these stories, someone ends up at the Buddha. Like, what am I supposed to do? I'm in this cycle of samsara. And the Buddha counseled, you need to give the ogress, let the ogress hold your baby. You know? And she's like, how could I do that? And I think of that when sometimes it feels like our positions are life and death. Like it's really important that we maintain that if we move towards the other side, something very important to us will be lost. Something that can't be lost, like a child.
Right. It's a nice story. And so in the story, the person you're facing is an ogress, but it's important, I would have thought, to recognize that the person you're dealing with is a human being. Why they're being an ogress
I
is
don't
a
even know what an
difficult
ogress
question.
is, but
I,
seems like a mean thing.
I would have thought both ogres and ogresses
Oh, it's an
would be.
ogre. It's an ogre lady. Okay.
I would have thought it would be an ogre lady.
Okay.
Um,
But you're saying it's important for us to see the humanity in those we converse with. And you think that's
I
lost?
don't think that's my unique position.
Yeah, I think
I
it's
think this is a fairly standard idea,
yeah, when we talk to people we
which is
recognize
not to
there's
say that that's going to actually allow us to have a conversation with them.
yeah.
We should recognize, for precisely that reason that they're human, that conversation may be impossible. So here I part ways with the Buddha. The fact that you can empathize with someone, I think, increases the chances that you'll be able to recognize their position and make sense of it. And if there is a space for reaching out, you'll be able to do that. But it doesn't guarantee that there will be such a space. I think if someone is entirely focused on their self-interest, they're merely recognizing that their certain path led them there, won't be enough for you to make peace with them.
Yeah. Because they're where they've been led, the end of all of that trail leads somewhere that's very different than where you are.
Right. So I don't think that I'm about to have a conversation with the Elon Musks of this world that will have much would have much impact were we to have such a conversation. I think people are entrenched for whatever complex reasons in their way of thinking about the world. And there are various stories about why Elon Musk, for example, may have ended up thinking the way that Elon Musk thinks.
Yeah.
Who knows if those are accurate or not? Either way, merely knowing that he had a human path that took him to where he is does not mean that we're ready to chat over a beer. It doesn't mean that nothing follows about whether we can find common ground.
Right.